Today we're going to be continuing with our unit goal. What effects do addition, subtraction, and multiplication have on fractions? Today we're going to be looking at how we can actually write a fraction as a product of a whole number and a unit fraction. So let's start by thinking about this question. At a pizza party, each pizza was cut into 6 equal slices. Oh, I'm already hungry. At the end of the party, there was 5/6 of a pizza left. Roberta put each of the leftover slices in its own freezer bag. How many bags did she use? What part of the pizza did she put in each bag? Let's use what we know about multiplication to help us solve this problem. I know that 5/6 as the product of a whole number and a unit fraction might look like this. This picture divides it. There's 1/6 and I have 5 of them, which makes sense. I've got 5/6. So 5/6 is really the same as saying 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. And you learned that in your last unit. Now I'm going to put it together with what I know about multiplication. When I add, repeated, I added here 5 times. So 5/6 is the same as saying 5 times 1/6. So now I'm going to go back to my question. If Roberta put each piece in their own bag, then she must have used 5 bags because she put one piece divided into 6 slices of a pizza in each bag. I can also use models to help me see how I can multiply with fractions. If I'm looking at 4 multiples of 1/4, then I can look at 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4. That's the same as saying 2 times 1/4. If I'm looking at multiples where I want to say 3 times 1/4, I have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 to get 3/4. Here I have 4 1/4. So I can say I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4/4. Now let's look at 5 times 1/4. Take a minute and pause and write down what you think the answer would be. If I have 5, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means I have 5 1/4, or 5/4. So the multiples of 1/4 are 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 5/4. I can also use a number line to help me, and I'm going to start by labeling my number line. I've got 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. What would come next in my number line? Oh, you got it, 4/5. And then I have 1 or 5/5. So my multiples of 1/5 would be 4/5 and 5/5. Let's do a little practice. Number your paper from 1, well, just 1, and then we're going to be doing these 3 problems. Let's do the harder one together. If I have, and I'm going to use this number line to help me, if I'm counting by 8s, I see 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8, 9/8. Now let's put that together with what I know about multiplication. If I'm multiplying 1 times 3/8, I'm making 1 hop to 3/8. So 1 times 3/8 is 3/8. Now I'm doing it again. 2 hops that are 3/8 each. Here's my first one, and then 1, 2, 3, 6/8. And to complete it, I'm multiplying 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm at 9/8. So now my multiples of 3/8 are 6/8, well, 3/8, 6/8, and 9/8. Are you noticing that our denominator never changes? Of course not. I'm not going to change my denominator. My fraction is what my fraction is. But my numerator is what's changing. And if I'm looking very, very carefully, it looks like, oh, I am skip counting by the numerator. There's my multiples. This is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now we can find multiples of fractions with a greater numerator than 1. Here we go. We did 1 earlier. But if we look at this one, I can see that if I'm skip counting by 2/5, there's 2/5. 2 more fifths, 4/5. 2 more fifths, 6/5. 2 more fifths, 8/5. 2 more fifths, 10/5. Again, I can see as I write these, my denominator doesn't change. What changes is my numerator. So I am looking at skip counting by my numerator while my denominator stays the same. Let's take a look as we multiply 3 times 2/5. They got 6/5. They looked and they said, well, that's just going to stay. So I'm going to multiply my whole number times my numerator. And I can show it on a number line. 2/5, 4/5, 6/5. And don't you love this picture? Because he's going, oh my gosh, this is so easy. Now I want you to take a moment to practice. So you might have seen these a minute ago, but now I want you to do them on your own. So what you're going to do is you're going to number from 1 and you're going to put in 3 answers for the next 3 questions. Pause the video while you do that. Let's check and see how you did. I know my denominator is going to stay the same. If I'm multiplying 1, I've got one group of 3/8, so I still have 3/8. I know my denominator is going to stay the same. I'm multiplying 2 groups of 3/8, so I'll have 6/8. I know my denominator is going to stay the same. I've got 3 groups of 3/8, so I've got 9/8. So you should see 3/8, 6/8, and 9/8. And let's do just some more, and these are new. So now you're numbering your paper 2, 3, 4, and 5, and let's see how you do. Pause the video while you try these on your own. All right, let's take a look. I know my denominator is not going to change, so I'm going to write it in so I can remember that. I'm writing the next 4 multiples. So I'm going to skip count by my numerator. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. How'd you do? All right, check your answers and change them if you need to. I'm going to do the same strategy for number 3, where I'm going to write the denominator in because I know my denominator is not going to change. Now I've got 2/10, so then I'll have 4/10 if I'm skip counting by that fraction. Then I'll have 6/10, then I'll have 8/10, and then I'll have 10/10. When we look at number 4, you could use the number line to help you. And you see that if you're multiplying 3 hops by 3/4, then you've got 1, 2, 3, 9/4. You could have also used the strategy where you keep the 4, because the denominator doesn't change, and you multiply your whole number times your numerator. My denominator is not going to change, and I made 2 hops with 4, 6 in each one. So when I multiply 2 times 4, I get 8. Now you know what it's time for. It's the quiz. So you're going to log on to the quiz assignment and do your best to answer the questions. Remember, you want to bring your notes to class tomorrow to show that you saw the video and you participated.